Hi everyone, I want to share with you the great news that we have created a new chat GPT called ICEBERG GPT. This is a very helpful one to help you in the process of understanding your organization at a deeper level, almost doing the work of an anthropologist. This content engine GPT is meant to help you in this work because we're not anthropologists, and it's really hard to sometimes to decode the implicit assumption of organization. So I want to show you and give you kind of a sense of what is the theory that is underneath all this. So, and I want to do it in a graphic here so that it can help you a little bit understand what is that is behind. So imagine that there is a situation in which you notice a nervous laughter in a town hall meeting from a director during a question from the audience. Now, this is a little event, it's something little that happens at one point, and it's kind of weird. What does it mean? Well, maybe some people might dismiss it, but the laughter is largely ignored by the audiences, as happened before in other meetings with top leadership. But who cares? You move on. It's not that important. Now, in some cases, we might focus on this event, which is an observation, something that you notice. In other cases, could be a missed deadline, or could be a conflict in a meeting, or a drop in sales. I mean, those are all events that happens in organization. So those events are important, but they are not, of course, the important area where we actually work on. We want to work on another level in which we are noticing patterns. What does it mean? It means that we notice that this has happened before. So maybe the deadline is missed every quarter. Maybe this Nesford laughter has already happened before. Maybe conflict happened always between two departments. I mean, this is a clue that this is not a one-time issue, but is an actual pattern that is happening. Now, beyond the patterns, we can go a little deeper and trying to identify what I call structures. What are those structures? Well, underneath those patterns, there are system, processes, and incentives, maybe the shades those situations. This could be, for example, speed, people behave in a certain way because the deadline comes from the lack of clarity in roles, or overloaded teams, or not enough budget this year for whatever reason. And this structure is the one that create the patterns which you see happening at the event. Now notice that the structure is often your target for change. In some cases, changes want to try to change those structure. Now, if we continue one step further, if you allow me, you go into what they're called mental models. Now, those are mental models in the sense that they are actually, for sure, idea that continue to exist in the organization with are the one that are shaping the structures, the pattern, and the event. For example, speed matters more than collaboration is a mental model, or my team has to win, or effectiveness of leadership is about not sharing emotions. I mean, those are mental models that are clear. Now, clearly, when we are doing change, the tendency is to notice the events. But our job is to go much deeper, and especially at the level of structures and mental models, is where we need to act. And this is the reason why I find this particularly helpful for you. This ChatGPT is meant to do all the work that you've seen me do here in just a click of a button. In other words, all you have to do is just click and enter the event that you have actually noticed, and ChatGPT will do all this work for you. Now, of course, ChatGPT, as you heard me say other time, is just a stupid robot. All that it can do is just give you an idea, but it's up to you then to check if those ideas are correct. So let me show you in ChatGPT what that is. So here is ChatGPT here, the ICEBERG GPT. Let's open it and let's enter here in the question how to this event, nervous laughter in a town hall meeting from a director during a question from the audience, and the laughter was largely ignored. It has happened before in other meetings with top leadership. So we click enter, and what this will do is we'll do all that work of the iceberg that I showed you before. Now you see he's asking me a few more questions. What was the topic of theme? So I can answer. The topic was the current quarter operations. The question was a question about staff cuts. The response from the audience was polite and largely ignoring the laughter. And the director has been in the company for a long time, so he's pretty trusted, and no acknowledgement. So the event was largely ignored. So imagine that this is a real situation we have now answered, and here is ChatGPT hard at work to describe and do that patterns of event which we had discussed earlier. So the nervous laughter, audience sleep politely ignoring it, might reveal the patterns of discomfort of emotional engagement. Structures might be feedback mechanism, lack accountability loops, or psychological safety not structurally reinforced in leadership forum. The mental models could be the belief that we must always appear composed and in control. Now, notice that we go one step forward. We try to make sense of those mental models and then define some possible course of action. Now, this is particularly helpful for you if you're interested, of course, as you are, in changing the organization. Those course of action give you a chance to actually positively impact your organization, simply putting those issues on the table. I hope you can use this this ICEBERG GPT, and this will be available in our course, and I look forward for you to continue to do the hard work of change.